the study Bible that started it all. Welcome to Bible on the Go with Dr. Dan and our monthly review of Bibles and study Bibles. In 1985, the Zondervan Publishing Company presented to the world what they referred to as the NIV Study Bible. And that Bible had notes and charts and maps. And it laid it out in such a way that it became very popular. And I hold in my hands right now the new NIV Study Bible, fully revised edition, completely expanded and updated, and over 9 million sold in full color. Let's see what's all in here. I've got a lot of bookmarks, and I'm excited to show them to you. The very first thing I want you to know is if you want to integrate the latest in archaeology and biblical scholarship with practical application, look no further. You just found the study Bible that you need. Now, when I come to the front, usually the front matter is not that exciting, but the table of contents is beautiful. Look at this. It's got the sections colored with a different border from the 5 books of Moses, the historical books of the Old Testament, and honestly, the fact that it tells you the 5 books of Moses instead of saying the Pentateuch is a good indication that what they're trying to do is bridge that world between the academic and the devotional, which is a long bridge to cross. But I want to show you a couple of things here. For example, the page numbers are listed to each of the introductions. For example, there's Genesis and the page number, and there's the introduction to Genesis. And the reason for that is the introductions to every book is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to show it to you. Then there's, after this, here's the Old Testament and all the sections and the page numbers, there's an index to articles. Look at all the articles present in this study Bible. And you need an index to be able to find all the things, and the index is, the article titles is arranged by the book order, which is really helpful if you know the books of the Bible in order. It's helpful to take you exactly to the particular articles and the respective page numbers. And then when you turn the page, you see an index to the maps, because there are 90 maps within the Bible text itself, in addition to the maps that are in the back. And then there's also an index to the charts. And the charts sometimes can communicate a whole lot in a short amount of time. And I'm just going to tell you, the charts in this one are amazing, and they're unusually highly academic and bring you a lot of information that you normally wouldn't get in a study Bible. And if that isn't enough, there's also a directory to the models. And the models are pictorial drawings that illustrate a point or a structure such as a tabernacle or something like that. And it's fantastic. Okay, and we're in this NIV Study Bible. Now, in the introductory notes, it's really crucial when you get a study Bible, whether it's NIV or another one, that you read the introductory sections. And when we're talking about the NIV Study Bible, it has a convention or a utility that's really cool. And I want to show it to you. There are 3 icons that you will see throughout this Bible. One is a trowel, a digging trowel, like a shovel. And another one is a leaf thing, like a seedling. And the other is an orange icon of a person's heads that talk to you, that help to show you a character. And it's really cool. Here's a picture of them right here. And they're throughout this Bible. And the cool thing is, they're there throughout the notes. It's really good and really done well. And right before you get to the Old Testament, there's this amazing chart that really does that bridge between the historical archaeological world and the devotional. Look at this. Ancient texts relating to the Old Testament. And there's a lot there. There's the title, like the Amarna letters, the origin, the time period, and the description to really give you a good sense of all the wonders of archaeology that help to support the biblical text. And I just think it's fantastic. And like Zondervan does in all their Bibles, there's an extensive timeline. Now, what I want you to notice about this timeline is before you get to the Old Testament, there's a timeline that covers the full Old Testament. Then when you get to the New, there's a timeline that covers the full New Testament. And I think it's great because it associates those time periods with the respective book texts, and they're great. Okay, now, here's an example in Genesis of what's at the front of every single book. All 66 books have this amazing thing. There's this section called Quick Look, and the Quick Look by itself will give you a tremendous biblical education because each Quick Look mentions the author, the audience, the date, and the theme that most people haven't considered. And in this study Bible, it's just right there in the Quick Look section. It's brief, it's to the point, and it engages you in the text. And we're talking about each book, whether you're talking about Genesis, Malachi, or Philippians, every single one of the 66 books has what I'm describing. There's a narrative describing each of these areas, and there's a timeline specific to Genesis. Now, given the fact that Genesis, for example, covers over 2,000 years of time, that's really amazing and really, really good. Okay, let's look at another one. With every single book, before you get to the text, is two outlines. Not one, but two. There's a literary, one over the world outline, and there's an extensive thematic outline as well. And really, you can't ask for much better than that when you're talking about a study Bible. Okay, I mentioned the 90 maps. Look at one of these maps. Look at the extensive color. Look how beautiful that is. That is really good. And it's associated with the biblical text, so it just makes it easy to teach you something from the map itself and give you a legend alongside the biblical text. And it's just wonderful. Okay, I mentioned the models. Look at these models. The tabernacle and the furnishings in the tabernacle. Well done in artistic detail and full color right in the middle of the book of Exodus. So it's one thing I really appreciate about HarperCollins and Zondervan is that with every Bible they produce, they're trying to draw you close to the text, and not just in a devotional way, but to actually cause you to think and to wonder and to ponder and to learn. And so the models are really good, and it'll do you good to pay attention to it. Okay, let's look at this other chart. Now this chart is, for example, this chart teaches you something that you didn't even know that you wanted to know about. Okay, for example, you're in Leviticus. Now Leviticus is the law book of the Old Testament, and most people don't get that excited about Leviticus unless, of course, you're learning something. And in Leviticus, look at this, Old Testament sacrifices. And something you'd think, well, I don't know if I really want to know about all that. But when you learn why it's there, the sacrifice, the references in the Old Testament, the elements and the purpose, it's an education all in one, just using one chart. And of course, it's a beautiful purple color that contrasts well with the biblical text. Let's look at another one. Okay, I just had to show you this because they'll put in addition to the maps, they'll put in pictures of actual archaeological finds and give you the footnote of the museum where they found it. And this one was found after the year 2000. I want to show it to you. It's a silver biblical text from the 6th century BC that was recently found, like in 2002 or 3. And it's a fragment, it's called a silver amulet. I wrote it down to get it right, of the Aaronic blessing from Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 26. You might remember, it might be familiar to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace. the actual Hebrew text, 600 years before Jesus. They found it in Jerusalem under 6 inches of dirt. What a wonder! The wonders of archaeology and how they support the biblical text. Well, let's look at some, and it's right there. It's right there in the book of Numbers in your Bible, in this Bible. Okay. I have to tell, and this is where I want to remind you. Look at this map, the conquest of Canaan, and the narrative that explains the map. And you'll notice those trowel and fig leaf icons right there to help you. The trowel icons that indicate to you, hey, I'm telling you something about archaeology. The little, I think it's called a leaflet that shows you something about the Christian life or a principle from the Christian life, and then the head icons that talk to you about one of the biblical characters. And it's really something. Look at all the bookmarks we still have to do. Okay, let's roll, because there's so much in this Bible. Modern pictures, color pictures of ancient places right by the text where they're mentioned. Okay, wonderful. And, I mean, look at this. View of the hill country east of Bethlehem when you're in the book of Ruth. Wow. Okay, so look at this. Chronology, I'm in 1 Kings. Chronology of foreign kings. This kind of information you get like in a seminary biblical backgrounds textbook. And here it is outlined all for you, just like in a Bible atlas, but right here in the NIV Study Bible. What a treasure. Okay, let's look at another one. Look at these maps. All the way from page to page, Nebuchadnezzar's campaigns against Judah in the exile of 586. Isn't that vast and colorful and instructive? Look at all the biblical text and all that it's telling you. 600 to 586. It's just a wonder. It's just another level of information if you want to learn and if you want to study. And then there is this one thing I have to mention that caught me off guard when I first looked at this Bible. I'm coming to a new section, and it's like this way in every section. In this case, it's the prophets. And look how big these numbers are, and then the book number, and then the book titles underneath them. I'll be honest, I didn't know what it was. Like, I saw 1144 Isaiah. Isaiah was in the 7th century. He wasn't in the 1100s. And then I looked down at 1567 for Habakkuk. Habakkuk was a lot later than that. And then it hit me. Those aren't dates. Those are the page numbers. They're trying to take you directly to the respective books in that section. Well, kudos to Zondervan and HarperCollins for trying to be clear, but in my case, it wasn't. Okay, so anyway, beyond that, there's a lot to love about this Bible. Look at this. I'm in Daniel. And you know, Daniel has a lot of prophetic and apocalyptic information. Right here is a chart where they're bringing together the historical from what happened after the book of Daniel to the apocalyptic. All the stuff about the Ptolemies and the Seleucids of the Intertestamental period, along with a map that shows you the regions that they control. I mean, this is valuable stuff and so interestingly placed in the book of Daniel. Okay, let's look at something else. There's just so much here. I'm in Malachi. Look at that extensive timeline from Malachi to Christ. And it's every one of these charts is a different color to get your attention as you're looking through the text. Okay, we've got more. A full outline of the time between the Testaments. Wonderful. Let's look at another one. The Maccabean Hasmonean period. A very specific period as you get right up to the time of Jesus. Again, graduate school information right there in your study Bible. And then we get the New Testament chronology, just as we mentioned, right before the New Testament. But I found this, and I had to just show it to you because I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of articles. We showed you the index to the articles. Look at this. Comparing Luke's and Matthew's genealogy. That's just wonderful. Okay. Parables of Jesus in a chart from, look, There's the parable, Matthew, Mark, Luke. It's like a parallelism of his parables. What a great thing to have in a chart. Okay, look at this. I'm in John. Okay, and you normally, if you're looking at archaeological stuff in study Bibles, there's a lot in the Old Testament, but not so much in the New. Not with the Zondervan Study Bible. Look at this. Major archaeological finds relating to the New Testament. Look at the vast amount of information there. It's absolutely wonderful. Okay, we're still rolling. Look at this in Ephesians, and they do this in more places than we have time to mention. But for example, I'm in Ephesians. There's a modern picture of a theater in Ephesus. It doesn't get much better than that. Okay, let's look at a couple more things. Hebrews. A topic in Hebrews is how much greater and grander is Christianity than the laws of the Old Testament. And look at this, the greater thans in Hebrews, the title of it and the reference, where the actual phrase greater than is used. So as tight as a word study and a sequencing, it's really great. Now, I'll have to say that the cross-references are kind of normal, but at least the verses that you're looking for the respective cross-references are bolded, and that's a good thing. Okay, now I'm at the back, and there's this whole other set of indexes because there's so much in this Bible. This is an index to the notes, a topical index to the notes by book. Very extensive, very clear, very tight, and really, really good. And then finally, now, if you've watched any of my videos, that there's always maps. But in this Bible, there's so much that they have to do an index to the maps. Thanks for watching. Bible on the Go with Dr. Dan. And if you like this video, the best thing you can do is hit that red subscribe button. It doesn't cost a thing, and you only have to do it once. Matt!